How about now? Maybe we got something.
I think it may just be the.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Let me know. Can you guys hear us out there? Is there audio? Hello. Audio. Let me. Jesus.
There was a mute button right here. There we go. We got a yes from David Carrier.
All right.
There we go.
We're going to restart this program, y'all. Welcome into Sports with Balls. It is 6:08 p.m. and on a Monday night, an incredible Sunday afternoon yesterday in the NFL. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Lauren Leal. We're Sports with Balls, and there's a lot going on in this show. We had a little bit of technical difficulty starting up, but here we go. Let's go. Let's run this back.
All right. Yeah, let's get into it. Thanks so much for joining us on Monday night. And as always, Mondays and Thursdays, 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time. So, yeah, we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. A lot of games that happened yesterday, obviously, Sunday NFL, but we have so much to get into with those games. And then tonight, I think, is the best Monday Night Football matchup this season.
You know, I would say that it's going to be on paper. It does look like that. And as of yesterday, looking at the line, which was it's -2.5, but now it's moved a ton, and there's some issues. There's a reason the line is moving a lot in Arizona's direction, and we will get into that in a little bit for sure.
Absolutely. But right now, let's hop into it with the High School Spotlight brought to you by VYPE and VYPE Media. So thank you to them for putting up this production, but also you can check them out. Go to VYPE.com and you can get all of your high school sports news. We're talking about all the sports too. Football, basketball, baseball, soccer, you name it, they cover it for you in the southern states. So let's get into that spotlight brought to you by VYPE. And we've got a lot of news. So North Shore wins again. They won over Lake Travis this weekend, 49-21. So that means they're heading to their 5th title game. That's right. They're heading to the championship game. They've won in 2003, 2015, 2018, and 2019.
Whoa.
So it could be a 2021.
Man,
what an awesome tenure.
North Shore.
North Shore and Coach K. I mean,
I did see Katie go. I saw Katie go to Austin Westlake and get their butt.
Oh yeah, they got right.
So that's my next note here.
Was it all right?
That's my next high school spotlight, and that is Katie is out of Westlake, putting up, like you said a minute ago, a whopping 14 points. They lost 45-14.
Woo!
So Westlake remains perfect. They will continue on to that championship game. They're 15-0. And other high school sports news is that Quinn Ewers, well, not going to be high school anymore. He is officially going to University of Texas. That's right. Not going to OSU. He is going to Texas.
I'll believe it when I see it. First of all, this guy's like
he posted a picture in a jersey on Twitter.
Yeah, but he's been to Ohio State. He's been to Arizona. He's already committed to 4 different programs. Now he commits to UT. Plus, he's never even started a college game. So before all the UT fans get all fired up, just calm down.
Hey, he's the top prospect.
I don't know because he did post it on Twitter about something about George Strait, like give me a jersey and all that. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, look,
he
said he's committed, but in this day and age, people decommit constantly.
Oh,
and he's done that 3 times.
We saw all of them like transfer from OU to USC whenever Lincoln Riley left, but he posted on it. And you say he's never played a college game. Well, duh, he's coming out of high school.
I know, but he's already committed to 2 or 3 different programs. There's this transfer portal thing now, dude. It's like college. I love college football, and I'm so excited for what's happened in the past couple months of college football. And of course, we're going to get into college football in a couple weeks when finally they start playing games again. But look. Yes, be excited that Ewers is going to UT if you're a UT fan, but don't get overexcited if he decommits and if something happens. So he's already been to 3 different schools.
All right. Let's get into tonight's show then. Mr. Debbie Downer, okay.
I know. We already got David on here as a bomb. All right, man. Look, today's show brought to you by that man, David Carrier, by the way, over there at Smarter Mortgage. Call David Carrier, 281-650-0648. Mention SWB, get a free quote, refinancing and purchasing on your home. This guy does it all, man. It's amazing what he does for people, and he will put you in a home it's just awesome. So call David over there at Smarter Mortgage. He'll take care of you. You got a pocket full of money ready to hand it to you. You ready?
All right.
Let's get the show going. Let's go. Oh, I love this one. SWB. Let's go. What a weekend in sports we just had. What an incredible NFL Sunday it was yesterday. What was your takeaway from yesterday? What did you think about yesterday's game?
It was an awesome Sunday slate of games, I will say myself. Welcome into SWB Monday Night Edition. Jeff, Michael, Lauren, Leal here with you. So excited to be here to speak sports with you and cover all of the games yesterday, or a big majority of them. And you know what? For me, we are in Houston, Texas. I was part of the alumni squad for the cheerleaders. So going to homecoming yesterday, Texans, of course, did lose 33-13 to the Seahawks. But it was such a fun day there. It was such a fun day there. That was my highlight. Yeah, 100%.
You might have been the highlight of the whole day for the Texans because there wasn't much football highlights for them at all. So
Davis Mills had over 300 yards. He had a really, really good game. It was just the fact that they couldn't get anything going on the ground. They only had 60 rushing yards compared to 193, which is what the Seahawks put down. Anyways, what was your highlight of yesterday, Jeff?
My highlight was obviously the Tampa Bay game. A buddy of mine was at that game and messaging him. It was fun. Like, he was there. What an incredible game. And we'll get into the GOAT in a little bit, Tom Brady. But, speaking of Texans cheerleaders and your alumni, you were the hottest cheerleader in all of football in 2014? 2012. Lauren Leal here, the hottest cheerleader in all of the NFL. So, next to greatness over here.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. I keep if you see me looking down at my computer, I keep having internet issues, guys. So just bear with me.
All good. Tiger Woods is back, so I'm happy.
Exactly. Tiger Woods is back. He's playing the PNC Championship this Saturday with his son, Charlie. Jeff, has anything changed for you? You still excited to see him out there?
I cannot wait. I just can't wait to turn on my TV and see Tiger Woods playing. And his son looks great. His son is older now, obviously, and he does a little Tiger pump. Tiger Woods to hit his first birdie. I don't want to be overzealous and think that he's going to perform like to his old school level. But man, they posted a picture the other day of his swing in 2002 and his current swing. And man, they're similar. And he struggled with his swing over the years, like a lot because of his back issues. But his swing looks identical to his early and mid 2000s swing. And if he gets in better shape, I think that, man, Tiger could pull off some wins in the near future. Hopefully maybe next year. I don't think that he's going to be. This is going to be fun for him, right? Like, he's not going to. But you got to understand, Tiger Woods is a massive competitor. Like, he refuses to lose. So I look for him to play some good golf. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be something that you bring up that's interesting. Whenever you see a guy come back, whether it be battling injury, a crash like that, you see how they deal and how they deal with the adversity that they never had to deal with before. So that's a good point. But I think it's, he's going to be fine either way. Like, he is living life and doing normal things. So that's the good part.
A week from today, we'll have another show, obviously, Monday nights. And I will be fired up. I might even wear like a red shirt and a black hat, like something like. What was?
It was my speaker. I forgot to turn it off. I think it just died.
Yeah, we got Enrique.
It's off already. It's off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it died. That was the sound. It died.
Enrique over here, the mascot. I cannot. I want to. Is there videos of North Shore games?
I can send you some videos, then you can post.
He showed me a video after one of our shows because you leave right away, and he showed me he was like running around on the sidelines, looking good.
Thunder or lightning? I love it. I can't wait. By the way, my son Cole is watching right now live. So what's up, son?
What's up, Cole?
He's in the living room on YouTube. So look, guys, you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, all your social media platforms, man, or just sign up and go just say Sports with Balls to Alexa. You can do that. Or is it Echo, Alexa, all of them. We're there. We're on every single platform. Go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, Sports with Balls, and give us a couple of likes. Pay attention to the show.
All right. Yeah, and let's get to it because next week, you said next Monday you're going to be super excited and stoked. Well, I think a lot of people are because they're going to have football all weekend long. And I'm not just talking about, the normal college on Saturdays with the bowl games and stuff like that. We're talking about NFL Week 15. It's going to be Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Dude. So check this out. Thursday Night Football is Chiefs versus Chargers.
Big game.
Pretty good matchup, right?
Big game.
Saturday, you got two big ones. You got the Patriots in Cleveland facing the Browns, and then sorry, Raiders facing the Browns. Patriots in Indianapolis facing the Colts. So that's going to be a great Saturday. And then you got all of the rest of the list on Sunday. So that's going to be exciting when we come in here next week to talk about that.
Friday
it's just now Monday.
Friday's your hydrate day, right? So like if you watch football Thursday nights and drink, you got Friday off, and then of course because like you said, college football's not here on Saturdays right now, and so boom. By the way, speaking of college football. Did you watch that Army-Navy game?
I did not.
I didn't. I'm mad that I didn't.
And yeah. Who won?
I saw it was.
Yeah, Lauren told you everything goes out the window when those two play, and sure enough, Army beat Navy. Just incredible football game. Incredible football game. I want to say 21-17, or was it Navy beat Army? It was fantastic. It was awesome. But again, 17-13, Navy beat Army. Just a great football game.
I knew it was going to be very low scoring.
Yeah, it was awesome. But just can't wait till next year that game. That's my bucket list. Hopefully I'll get to go. One of y'all, David out there, Kevin, somebody get us tickets. Let's go.
All right, speaking of let's go, let's get into.
You see these. David said,
my internet's not working, so I'm not getting any of the comments, unfortunately.
David said a red turtleneck. Like, what? Really? I'm not wearing a turtleneck, bro.
You should draw the little Nike symbol next to it.
Well, my white turtleneck, they make fun of me for wearing all the time. But
it's
not a turtleneck. It's like a quarter neck. What I don't know what you call it, but
That's
it's not
turtleneck.
What's the thing before a turtle? Like a tadpole turtle? Tadpole neck? Tadpole neck.
Tadpole neck.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude.
My goodness, what are we talking about tonight? All right, let's get into the rundown and some of the big games that we were talking about a minute ago. Yesterday, oh my gosh, Sunday night football, Bears versus the Packers.
Wow.
45-30, winning by 15. Talking about Green Bay advancing to 10-3 on the season, while the Bears 4-9. Yikes, spikes. But Rodgers still owns them. Nothing has changed. I will say this game was very, very back and forth until the fourth quarter when the Packers pulled away. But it was a fun game. It was fun. It was exciting. Justin Fields ran for his life. He looked great, though, besides those interceptions. And that's what I was going to allude to with the issue with the Bears, is you can't throw two picks. You cannot do that because the Green Bay will capitalize on it. You have to go down and score, at least get a field goal every time you're driving. Anyways, it was a fun game. I enjoyed the game itself. My big question is Matt Nagy gone after this?
No, I mean, he's got a rookie quarterback. Matt Nagy's fine. They're 4-9. They played a decent football game. I mean, in the second quarter alone, that was a football game by itself. 24 points by the Bears, 21 points by the Packers. That second quarter was one of the most exciting this year. Any quarter in football. It was fantastic. I mean, you're talking, there was kickoff returns, punt returns, interceptions, fumbles. It was awesome. Great football. Mm-hmm. But when you're talking about the guy that's in the race for the MVP, there's only two guys in the race, probably MVP right now, which would be Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Man, you can't sack Aaron Rodgers, stand over him, and do his discount double check and not expect him to come back. And right after that guy did that, he threw 4 touchdowns and almost 400 yards of passing. Like, dude, what are you thinking? In Green Bay, it was an incredible performance by Aaron Rodgers. I think Chicago played great. I really do. I had them covering the spread, but man, Green Bay just 45 points, man. Like they went ham. It was wild. It was wild.
Not expecting that. I don't know what the over-under was prior to the game.
47 or 48, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because the Bears.
Wow.
Yeah. And but
look, 74-point game.
And the Packers didn't even score a point in the first quarter.
That's what's crazy.
They scored 21, 17, and 7 in 3 quarters.
That's what's crazy.
Insanity. Rodgers, 29 of 37, 341, and 4 touchdowns. Yes, Chicago, he owns you.
And you compare that to Justin Fields, though. He was 18 of 33, 224 yards. Like I said, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. He had 9 carries for 74 yards. I really liked seeing him use his legs. I did. He really extended the plays, unlike Dak Prescott with the Cowboys this weekend. Which, Kevin Anthony, hold on. I know you're out there. Sorry, we'll get to Dak a little bit later on, but Justin Fields was a better quarterback this weekend than I will say Dak.
Oh yeah. We can't
All right,
wait
but
to
the
get into
Packers-
that game.
The Packers play the Ravens and then the Browns on Christmas Day. So I think those will be 2 good games, depending on if Lamar Jackson is back and healthy. But speaking of him, let's get into the next rundown. The injuries of the quarterbacks. Ugh.
Yeah.
So Lamar Jackson was carted off the field, and this was the first play of the second quarter in a sprained ankle in the loss to the Browns, 24-22, in which the game in the meeting prior to this, the Ravens won. Well, not this time. They said that they expect those x-rays and everything to come back looking like a low ankle sprain for Lamar Jackson, but the Ravens are now 8-5. They lead the AFC North, and they're literally right above Cincinnati and the Browns, who have 7 wins. As I just said, the Ravens have 8. So they have a pretty tough schedule looking forward to. They have the Packers, the Bengals, the Rams, and the Steelers.
Oof.
It's going to be hard for the Ravens moving forward in this last stretch.
8-5, that's obviously all Lamar Jackson with the health issues they had during training camp. And then, they've lost every running back they've had. Lamar Jackson's just been on the run. But we've said this every single time. You run enough, you're going to get hurt. And I've said it over and over and over and over again. And Lamar Jackson's hurt. And it's because he's running all the time. And it's like, they're not going to win.
Protection.
The Ravens are a good team. They're not a great team. Are they going to make the playoffs? Most likely. But they're going to lose in the first round. And Lamar Jackson's going to get a bunch of heat because he out in the first round again. He's only won 1 playoff game. He's been in the playoffs a bunch, and he's only won 1 time. And it's because he runs too much. He's going to get hurt. And, by the end of the season, which is now 17 weeks long, you're going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And here you go. And Baker's out there. He's out there hurt too. I don't know which team, speaking of Ravens or the Browns, that I like more to go into the playoffs. I think both of them are probably going to make it, but man, I don't like any of them going far in the playoffs.
If we're talking about them too, I would definitely probably take the Browns. I feel like they have more weapons to work with.
Yeah, I think their running game.
Lamar
is better.
Jackson is still all that Baltimore has.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it goes back to me. And look, Huntley came in for Baltimore and played great. Like, he played really, really good football. They scored 13 points. The Ravens defense didn't allow a point in the second half of that game. And Huntley came in and brought them back because that game was out of hand. And I had the Ravens +3 in a parlay bet, and they covered that. They only lost by 2 points, so that was good. But,
a little humble brag there.
Yeah. Huntley came in, and he was 27 of 38 for 270 and 1 touchdown. That is exactly Lamar's numbers almost, and maybe even a little bit better, except for the rushing part. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good thrower, so Baltimore might actually have a pass game now. The problem is they still can't run the football. Like, and you're seeing, look at Buffalo. Look what happened to Buffalo when you cannot run the football. You can't eat up the clock. You can't do anything. The Browns didn't score a single point in the second half, and the Ravens came back on them because the Browns couldn't run the football.
Well, that's what we talk about with OBJ. However, Baker Mayfield being better without OBJ on the ground. So it's just kind of confusing to why that is, with being on the ground and not being able to convert on those third downs. All right, let's move on to another injury, quarterback that is injured. And we go to Buffalo, who hasn't been looking so great. However, this quarterback had a really good game. Josh Allen, he is day-to-day, and that comes from the Bills Wire. And Sean McDermott, the head coach, said in today's press conference, saying he's day-to-day after they fell to the Bucs yesterday, 33-27 in overtime. But Josh is in good spirits. Did you see he came out walking with a boot?
Yeah, so that's why I put this on here. Yeah, I mean, they say it's nothing too major, but man, he had a walking boot on. And when you have a walking boot on, that's not good.
Well, they said that, they're going to monitor him as they get closer to Sunday to see if he can play against the Panthers this coming weekend. But you never know. I mean, he looked fantastic. We'll talk about that in a little bit with the comeback that they made in that game in the fourth quarter. But yeah, so Josh Allen, definitely keep an eye on them. The Bills will play the Panthers, as I just mentioned, and then the Patriots after that.
The Panthers. Did you see the Panthers again? This is embarrassing. Like, I don't know if it's worse to be a Texans fan or a Cam Newton fan, because I told you about all that hoopla. Like, I mean, he came out as like,
the Panthers don't know what they're doing.
And they fired their offensive coordinator, and you see what happened? Oh my, like, it is, I mean.
Sam Darnold.
Wow.
Replace Sam Darnold for Cam Newton. and then they fire their coordinator, and then Cam Newton goes back out there, does it just.
I mean, look,
Carolina.
I don't know if
what's going on.
Sorry, Texas might be in a better spot. Jacksonville or Carolina, I don't know. Take your pick, man. Those two franchises are in disarray.
No, the Panthers can scrape together some wins, but like,
oof, not. We're gonna get into Jacksonville here in a minute, but yeah, the Panthers and Cam Newton. That whole thing lasted what, 8-9 days? And he signed a huge contract. We talked about this on the show, how much money they paid him. It is sad. They pulled him and then put him back in, like twice now. Like I don't know what's going on over there in Carolina, and I'm baffled at what they did with Cam Newton. And there we go. Go Carolina. And so I bring this up because you said the Bills are playing them next week. This coming up game, I would sit Josh Allen. I think that the Bills could most likely beat them. The problem is the Bills are only 7-6 right now. They need that. That's a must-win game for the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, let's get to our next deal in the rundown, and this is something that Jeff is superior in, and that's UFC fights. Not talking about the actual fights that he does, because I don't think Jeff fights. But no, we have some games, and unfortunately, my internet is not working, so I can't. Or not games, fights, like I just mentioned. I can't pull up.
Well, the reason I brought this up is because it was late at night, right? And I was catching. I didn't order these fights, and it was one of.
I do got them.
It was one of the best cards that UFC's had in a long time. I knew Amanda Nunes was fighting. I know Dustin Poirier, who obviously fought Conor McGregor, and Conor snapped his leg. He was fighting. And so I got on my little gambling site, and I took all the underdogs, all 4 of them in the major fights. Well, guess what? They all won. Every one of them.
Every time you pick the underdog, they win.
$5. I bet $5. That's it. And the odds were plus 5,363, and I won $268 on $5. I swear to God, I took and the reason being is Amanda Nunes was a plus 550. That when I placed this to win, she was regarded as probably the best UFC woman fighter ever. A lot of people thought she was going into that fight, and that this girl Pena had no shot at beating her. And man, when it flashed across, I was like, because that was the pre-fight before the main event, which is Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira. And then I was like, oh my gosh, all I need is this Oliveira kid to beat Dustin Poirier. And the odds were almost even in that fight, which is surprising considering Poirier and his record and what he's been through. And then boom, I found out he won. I was jumping up and down in my garage.
Well, so with that win, that's 10 wins in a row and increases his lead in the UFC record books for the most finishes, 18, and most submissions at 15.
Wow.
And speaking of Nunes, she said, I undoubtedly accepted the rematch with Juliana Pena following the UFC 269 title loss. So
I bet the odds won't be as high, but I might do another late night little $5 bet on that.
Well, you can, because there's going to be some more fights happening this weekend. We are looking at Derek Lewis versus Chris Daukaus.
Ooh, Derek Lewis, H-Town boy.
Yep, that's right. Stephen Thompson versus Bilal Muhammad. And then we have a couple more of them. You can go check them out if you want to go place your bets on some UFC fights.
Yeah, let me know. There's a lot of UFC fans out there. I get it. It's a huge sport. In fact, they just had their UFC Christmas party this past weekend. And look, I just got lucky on that, but I will be placing another one, and I will let you guys know who I picked this coming up week.
He will. He's good at letting you know.
I've hit 2 parlays 2 weeks in a row. The last week was a 5-teamer in the NFL, and then I just hit this one. So I'm not doing too bad in these parlay bets, man. So stay tuned. Maybe Thursday on the show, I'll pull out a parlay bet.
There you go. All right, let's do it live. We'll do it live.
6 p.m. right here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. But we are on all of them.
I was wondering what impersonation was that?
Roddy Piper. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
You know who my favorite wrestler was?
Who?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Okay.
He had a big old 2x4 he came in the ring with, man. Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was. Did you watch wrestling?
No. I feel like this is a redneck thing.
I even look.
Okay.
Wow. Sorry, listeners.
Sorry, Dad. My dad was a wrestler too.
Austin Bauer. Yeah, that's true. Your dad was a wrestler. Austin Bauer says, "What's up?" And he went to the Texans game, and you had your reunion this past weekend. And I guess when he was walking out, saw you, and you didn't say hello to him.
Who's he?
Austin Bauer
I thought you said my dad. I was like, he wasn't there.
No, Austin. Austin Bauer said that
When
he
did
saw
you see me?
He saw you at the Texans game. Said he yelled hello, waved, jump up and down, and you just ignored him.
Oh my gosh, I totally would have said hello if I knew you were there. I don't know what part, because I was also taking notes because I was about to do an interview on the game. And then also we were going down to the field to take pictures for like alumni and the squad and everything like that. So we were doing like a little photo shoot after the game too. So I am so sorry I passed you. I did not know. My apologies. Let me know if you're there next time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing with you. Obviously, you're really busy at the games, and it's hard to say hello to you. Even I know that. But people are already saying Ric Flair. Ric Flair. You know who Ric Flair was? You know. Woo!
Woo!
There, that's Ric
Josh
Flair.
Reddick. I know that because of him.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
What?
That's Ric Flair.
That's Ric Flair.
Oh,
That's Ric Flair.
Man, I love me some Lauren. I love sports with balls. This show is great.
SWB.
SWB. Come on, Lauren. Anyway,
All right.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I cannot wait. All right, let's go.
All right. So we got a Heisman winner, and that it goes to none other than Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. The sophomore gets it because you know what? He deserves it. 43 touchdowns on the season. He only had 4 interceptions. That's 4,322 yards. Wow. They are number 1 after beating Georgia last weekend. We all know this, and they're going to face Alabama. They're going to face Cincinnati. So number 1, Alabama is going to be facing number 4, Cincinnati.
Any
thoughts on Bryce Young?
Yeah, we all knew this was coming.
Was anyone else?
You know what I was
like in the running for this?
No,
let's be real.
No.
Not even close. There's a defensive player for Michigan that's really a stud. He'll be a top 5 pick, but no, Bryce Young had this locked in from day one. The Texans might get Bryce Young in this coming up draft. That's for a whole nother show.
Texans can't get him. He's a sophomore.
We'll see what happens. He can't come out in the draft this year. I need to look.
No, we can't.
But Bryce Young, I think I was more impressed with what happened after he won. His speech and the way he conducted himself was amazing. Like he was so well spoken, and he answered every question like he was prepped for it. It was awesome, and I was like, oh man, this kid's gonna be good. I mean, it was just a great showing for him. Yeah, and sometimes people get up there and caught up in the moment, and kind of lowers their draft stock. But man, Bryce Young is the real deal. I'm excited to see him in the NFL. I really am.
I would love to put you on a podium and see what you would say.
It's funny you say that. I was talking to Ashley the other day about this because, hopefully we get to go to some award shows this year or whatever.
Jeff Michael, you just won an award. I'm just curious. I want to know what you would put together.
Look, I'm good at talking right here on the microphone. I've only talked in front of a crowd a few times. Apparently, I'm good at weddings. Like I can give a wedding speech, but I don't know how I do. I might freeze. I might be like, Lord. and let you take it. I don't know.
Okay, that's why we're a team. I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do that this year.
Yes. All right, let's get to our last rundown, and that is what is going on in Florida. And we're not talking about the Bucks. We're not talking about the Dolphins. We're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. So yes, we'll get on the field and then we'll get off the field. On the field, they lost to the Titans yesterday, 20-0.
God, that was embarrassing. Like that was a rough game to even kind of just scroll past. Every time I did, Trevor Lawrence was either getting sacked or throwing a pick.
That's where we go to. Trevor Lawrence there's been enough games to where, okay, this team is bad on all different angles that you look at it. Defensive side, on the offense, like not many like great guys out there for targets, but you can't just keep ignoring the number 1 draft pick and Trevor Lawrence from Clemson.
Oof.
As you mentioned, he had 4 picks yesterday. 4 picks versus the Titans. He has only completed 58.2% of his passes this year, and that's for 2,735 yards. So 9 touchdowns on the season, 14 picks.
Jeez.
And that's where you say, okay, is it really the whole team? Or is it the guy under center?
I know he's got a big fan in Peyton Manning because I think Peyton Manning holds the rookie interception record. But, Trevor Lawrence he doesn't look good. And I don't know if this is Jacksonville or Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if it's the head coach or I don't know if it's offensive coordinator. I don't know. I just don't know if the system fits him that well. They've had a little bit of running back issues. Like yesterday, Robinson had 6 rushing yards.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my.
6.
Oh.
That's their rushing yards yesterday. 6. Unbelievable. They just can't run the ball. They can't do anything right. So I don't put all of this on Trevor Lawrence, and obviously their off the field issues are major.
So that's what I was going to allude to. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Raiders a couple months ago. So when you look at the head coach in Urban Meyer, it's his first year in the NFL. Yes, there's going to be issues or difficulties, that adversity that they're going to have to work through going from collegiate to pro. But then let's go through the list. You have a video of a woman dancing on him coming out. That's not his wife. Then you have reportedly Urban Meyer calling his assistants losers, and then having to bring out their resumes to support why they're not losers.
Their record.
Their
record is
2-11, same as the Texans, which they will face this coming Sunday in Jacksonville.
Oh, that's a stand-up game.
And so, the list goes on and on in Jacksonville, and you wonder, it's just a culture thing. It's not working together on the field. It's your quarterback that's new to the pros. It's just a long line of issues, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel bad for him. The owner, multi-billionaire, invested a lot of money in this, and they tanked and got their number 1 pick in Trevor Lawrence, and then they thought they had their head coach. The problem is that everybody's gunning for him, but Urban Meyer's contract is huge. They would owe him a lot of money if they fired him. So I don't know if you see Urban Meyer gone this year. I understand there's a lot of heat on him and obviously Trevor Lawrence, but I think that they give him another year. This is just a bad year for them. Like, bad year in general. There's a lot of on and off the field issues with them. So this coming up week, Texans Jags, that'll be a really, really high rated game.
You had me, and I was like, no. Sorry,
no.
Chewy. This was not going to be about the Dolphins. No. Are you a Dolphin fan? That's interesting.
Chewy.
Never heard of that.
All right.
We do have an Enrique shout out as usual, Kevin. Enrique. So they want to say what's up to
what's
the man
up?
behind the scenes.
I'm here.
That's right. Thank you guys for listening and keep commenting. Yes, love it.
Can we get some NFL music, man? Let's get this party started.
Yes, I can.
I'm ready, man. Man, what a Sunday yesterday. Cream always rises to the top, right?
Woo!
And I'm pretty sure that's what we saw yesterday. The morning slate of games, or the afternoon slate of games, 1 p.m. Eastern time slate of games, was pretty much all blowouts and as expected games. Now, the afternoon games and the night games,
woo!
Whoa, man, let's go. Let's talk about
Yes, let's go. I mean, I loved last night's game. We already touched on it with the Packers versus the Bears, but let's get into another one that you were stoked about.
Yep.
The Bills versus the Bucks in overtime, and the Bucks won 33-27 as Tom Brady does Tom Brady things. The Bills now 7-6, while the Bucks advance to 10-3. Talk about that playoff picture for them. So we thought it was going to be a shutout basically by the Bucks, right? And no, Josh Allen comes in. They were 24. It was 24-3 at the half.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens in the end?
they scored
Josh
17
Allen,
fourth quarter points. What happened?
That's amazing. And then in overtime, what sealed the deal was a 58-yard touchdown pass from Tom Brady to receiver Brashad Perriman. And then Brady earned the all-time completion records in this game with 31 of 46 passes for 363 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed, which you don't see often, 16 yards and a score. So go Tom Brady.
Tom Brady did. I saw him do
you never see him rush.
Yeah, I want
just in the pocket. I'm comfortable. I'm good.
Every game, his over-under rushing is like 2 yards, 1.5, 2, maybe 3. This one I saw him run for 10. I was like, man, I should have taken the over on his rushing yards. But I don't know what the story of this game is. Is it Tom Brady or the Bills defense? The Bills defense had been amazing the first 6, 7, 8 games of the season. They have fallen apart. I mean, fallen apart lately, and don't look that good, quite honestly. They look like the Bills of last year, and very, very vulnerable and very susceptible to the run. Leonard Fournette went off 19 carries, 113 yards. When you have somebody rush for 113 yards on 19 carries, of course you're going to open up the pass game. And when you have somebody in the GOAT behind you, the Buffalo Bills almost had no chance. The one thing that did bring the Buffalo Bills back in this game was Josh Allen's rushing. He had
Absolutely.
over 100 yards rushing, and that's because they have no running back anymore. So,
But that speaks so much about Josh Allen, because he sees those pockets, or he sees that opening, wide open space, and he just goes. That's whenever you don't think, you don't hesitate, you see something and you do it, and that's why it worked, and that's how those 17 points happened. And that's why he also had a boot in the post game.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about that earlier. The more you run as a quarterback, the more you're probably going to get hurt. But they had no shot in that game without him running. They scored 24 points in the second half. So you said the Buccaneers scored 24-3 in the first half.
Right.
Bills scored 24-3 on the Bucs in the second half. So it was an incredible game. Then, of course, you get the Buccaneers winning the game on the Brady touchdown pass that you alluded to. But the bigger play, I think, was the non-pass interference call in regulation in the end zone. There was 20 seconds left in the game. Josh Allen throws it to Stephon Diggs. He clearly gets tackled almost in the end zone. It is a clear pass interference call. But, of course, it goes Tom Brady's way because the Bucs don't get called for it. They kick a field goal, tie the game. Bucs go on to win in overtime. And everybody's calling out the refs. Tom Brady gets lucky again. It was a fantastic game. And the Bucs sitting there at 10-3 are they're going to make the playoffs, obviously. And the Bills now at 7-6 are sort of like the, Cleveland Browns or the Baltimore Ravens.
Gosh, that's weird.
Yeah, they should be 10-3. That's where everybody expected them at the beginning of the season to be, because they fantastic offense, great defense. And now they're one game above 500. And, you wonder how they're going to last over the next 4 or 5 games, and how this whole playoff picture is going to run out. The Bills, they don't look that good. They can beat anybody, but they just seem to lose.
Josh Allen still has, he had over 300 yards yesterday, 2 touchdowns, but he also had an interception. So, let's move on to another game that was kind of fun. Also went into overtime. 49ers versus the Bengals, and San Francisco won 26-23, like I said, in overtime. Now these teams both sit with a record of 7-6. We were talking about those 7-win teams with the Bills. Now, this was due to Jimmy G's 12-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk.
You got it.
That won it. And then I was like, I never know if I pronounce these names correctly. Okay, so we thought it was going to be the Bengals' way, though, right? Because they had the field goal first in overtime. So we're thinking, okay, Cincinnati, nope. And Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they had 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter that really came up and gave Cincinnati a win, because it was a 20-6 deficit. And the connection between these two guys are just great. Cincinnati, though, went down, and who went up? George Kittle. George Kittle had a great game from Jimmy G.
Beast mode.
13 catches for 151 yards, touchdown. Last week, he had 181 yards. I mean, he's cooking again.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was just going on and on about this game.
George Kittle, I think he becomes the first tight end to ever have back-to-back 150 games with touchdowns.
Because he was – sorry.
No, he was unhealthy at the beginning of the year. Like, he got hurt, right? And now you see a healthy George Kittle, and man, I mean, this dude is he's awesome.
Well, he was hurt a lot last season too, right?
Yeah,
almost all last season. So it's really good to see him back doing these things.
Yeah, his health means the world to the 49ers, and you see it. Like, he had 180, now he has 150. I love it because he's on my fantasy team. So
and it's always been Kittle or Kelsey. Who do you want? And I was always on the Kelsey train. I mean, Kittle showed me a lot yesterday and last week that I like to see. The 49ers are now 6th in the NFC race, and the Bengals dropped to 9th, right behind the Browns, who beat the Ravens yesterday, as we mentioned earlier. All right, let's get to Kevin Anthony, your Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington football team. So they won by a score 27-20. Cowboys now advanced to 9-4, and Washington is 6-7, one game under 500. And I really think this was defense versus offense and what made this Dallas team win. The defense was stellar. We can talk about Micah Parsons and going off a forced fumble, returned for a touchdown, getting another sack, and being the best rookie out there in the NFL.
Well,
on the defensive front.
Well, on the defense, okay, yeah, because Mac Jones will win Rookie of the Year.
No, on the on the defensive front.
There's a lot of and people look because they're America's team or whatever. There are fans saying that he needs to be a Rookie of the Year. Look, kids, I get it. You're in love with this guy, but Mac Jones is clearly Rookie of the Year in New England. But Micah Parsons, he might win Defensive Player of the Year if he keeps playing like this. The guy's absolutely incredible, and he's the one that won this game because Dak Prescott did not.
Kevin Anthony said Jeff Enrique can suck it because the Cowboys won. But no, you're right. The defense won this game. Dak Prescott did not look comfortable. He looked stiff. Yeah. Every highlight that I saw of him, he just looked like he was just trying to survive. He wasn't comfortable.
Why did things he makes things look so hard. And it's just not. Like all the greats, like with Rodgers and all them, Brady and all the greats, things are easy. Even the hard plays are easy.
He threw a pick six in the fourth quarter, and that made it a one-possession game.
Oh, dude, because I was getting hammered on Facebook, and then they did a pick six, and
I you were like, I was getting hammered on beers.
No, like because all the Cowboys fans, because I love the Cowboys, so like they were all jumping down my throat, and I like as soon as that happened, I was like, and honestly, Washington could have won that game. They really had a chance to win that game. The Cowboys are a very, very beatable 9-4 team. I just, man, they had to force 4 turnovers in order to beat the Washington Redskins.
I mean,
I'm sorry, the Washington football team.
They're 1-5. They went 1-5 in the red zone yesterday. I mean, they had all field goals, 1 touchdown. So Dallas, you got to get it together on the offense. Dak, you got to get your team together.
He threw 39 times for only 211 yards. That's not good. That's not good at all when you're the Dallas Cowboys with all these weapons that are all back. He's completely healthy. Tony Pollard wasn't back, but that's fine. You guys love Ezekiel Elliott. He only had 45 yards rushing on 12 carries. Dak had to throw the ball 39 times, and I told you if he throws 40, they lose. One more pass, and it might have been a pick six, and they lose. Like, so, Dallas won the game. I get it. They're 9-4. But if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, it's not like you're a really comfortable 9-4. You're like, 9-4. Like they didn't look that good. They got to turn around and play Washington in 2 more weeks, and that's going to be a tough game.
Speaking of the conferences, let's get to them. The AFC and NFC playoff picture, and we talk about the Dallas Cowboys being 9-4. Well, that puts them in 4th place in the NFC, right behind the Bucs and the Packers and the Arizona Cardinals leading that. They all are 10-3, 10-2 for the Cardinals as they are playing the Rams tonight. Now, what do we think about this NFC playoff picture? I mean, those are very tough teams at the top right there.
What, the NFC?
Yes.
Yeah, so the NFC is,
like I said, the Cardinals, the Packers, the Bucs, the Cowboys, and the Rams are right after that. Then the 49ers.
Yeah, so the top 3 teams are set, and you kind of knew what was going to happen in the NFC.
They're all 10-win teams.
Yeah, and I told you about the Fab Five over there in the NFC that were just there. I mean, it's going to be really, really hard to beat Brady and Rodgers. You're going to see the Brady Rodgers matchup again, and that's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for that football game. Just Green Bay and New England. The thing about the NFC is the home field advantage. That's what everybody's going for right now, and that these games coming up are super important for that home field advantage because these teams are so tight. Home field advantage is going to be massive. So these games are going to be really, really important coming up, and you just hope, that whoever you're rooting for in those, me being I think Green Bay. I want to see Aaron Rodgers back in the Super Bowl. It'd be awesome, but the road to the Super Bowl, is it going through Tampa or is it going through Green Bay?
You know what? I say the road to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers deserves it the most. Him and Brady. So
and you can't count Arizona out, and you got the Cowboys there at 9-4. Yep. And tonight's game, we'll get into it in a minute, but Arizona and the Rams is a huge football game for Arizona.
Absolutely.
Not as much for the Rams. I get it that the Rams are still in the hunt for home field, but they're 8-4. Arizona's 10-2. They lose. They're tied with the Packers and Tampa Bay. Now you got a 3-way tie for home field advantage and what's going to happen. I mean, that home field advantage is massive. And if you move over to the AFC, it's a little bit more like like throwing everything in the laundry. I mean, it's everywhere. You've got right now the division leaders: Patriots 9-4, Titans 9-4, Chiefs 9-4, Ravens 8-5, but a really weird 8-5.
So let's get this straight in the AFC. As you just went down the list from 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Everyone helped the Patriots yesterday, even though they were off.
Yeah.
Okay, they had a bye week. They're 9-4, as you mentioned. Tennessee, well, they're 9-4. Kansas City Chiefs 9-4. Baltimore Ravens, they did take the loss yesterday, so that gets them out of that position, 8-5. And the Chargers, we'll see if the Chargers can make any comeback. If there are any teams down here in the AFC, Jeff, who would be a sleeper team that could bump right up to get in the hunt?
Well, in the hunt still, you got Browns, Bengals, Broncos, Steelers, Raiders, Dolphins. Of those 6 teams, Dolphins or Broncos probably. The Broncos are starting to look a little tough, and the Dolphins have looked great as of late. Wild card leaders right now are Chargers, Colts, Bills, right? But you got Browns, Bengals, Broncos, Steelers, Raiders, Dolphins. The Raiders are a mess. So I just, they've had so many off-field issues, and man, they got destroyed yesterday. I mean, just handled, but for the second time by Kansas City. And if you want to get into that Kansas City and everybody's jumping on the Pat Mahomes train again, that's the only 2 games that he's played good in the last 6 games. Like, he killed the Raiders before, and he did it again yesterday, but all the other games he really hasn't looked good. But the Steelers, I don't trust Ben Roethlisberger. The Bengals, as much as they looked really good at the beginning of the season, Jamar Chase had a couple of drops yesterday, and Burrow doesn't look as on point as he did. So I don't like them either. And the Browns are a mess with Baker. So I like the Broncos and the Dolphins that are still in the hunt. But right now, they're on the outside looking in, with the Chargers, Colts, and Bills have the wild card locked up.
I gotta disagree with you for a little bit, just with the Cincinnati Bengals, because I think they have the weapons in place and they have the talent there that they can actually make something, and they can make a push for themselves. So you know what, I can see the Bengals sneaking in.
Yeah, I mean,
sneaking in.
They could get in there. Look, you get 7 teams from each side going in, so they have a chance. I don't know Cincinnati's schedule right offhand, but Cincinnati, that, like you said, they do have the weapons. It's up to Joe Mixon. He didn't have a good game yesterday, but he's got to take a lot of pressure off of Joe Burrow. And Jamar Chase is a rookie. Burrow's been incredible this year. I think the more complete team, though, is the Miami Dolphins. Like, their receivers are phenomenal, their running game's phenomenal, and their defense is playing great. So, and just IE for your information, Jets, Texans, Jaguars all eliminated this past week from the AFC, and the only NFC that's team that's eliminated was the Detroit. The Chicago Bears at 4-9 still have a chance.
That's what?
Yeah, they do.
Dolphins have won their last 4 games.
The Dolphins are playing great football, man. Really, really good football. So, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait for this next week. We got football Friday or Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 out of 5 days you've got NFL football.
I still don't see the Miami Dolphins making it.
Tua has been good.
Fins up. Come on, fins up. Yeah.
Is that what they do?
I don't know.
Are you just making that up? Okay.
Yeah, fins up,
fins up.
Flip, flap, or whatever. Raise them up.
If I'm gonna look down at the NFC right now and give you,
all I'm saying is I do not think it'd be a fun game to see the Dolphins versus the Packers.
Really?
All I'm saying.
Who knows? But the Washington Redskins are in the playoffs right now, and the 7th seed in the NFC. You got Minnesota, Philadelphia, Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina, Seattle. Seattle, you can forget about it. New Orleans Saints, they don't look good either, and so does Atlanta. I think Washington, Minnesota, and Philadelphia have a decent shot of getting in. Out of those teams, I like Minnesota and Washington. Kirk Cousins hasn't been playing that bad, and they can sneak in a couple. Washington has nothing but divisional opponents left. Like, that's it. And they got to play Dallas again. They got to play the Giants twice. So we'll see what happens with them. But, man, those top 5 teams are just, they're just in the NFC. They're way better than them. Like, there's not as much parity in the NFC as there is in the AFC.
4 regular season games left. That's it. That's crazy.
Man, I wish there was
That's
more.
crazy. That makes me sad.
And they added another one too. So
I know, right?
Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Would only be 3. All right, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Look, everybody that's watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on all those. Thank you for all your comments. Follow us on Sports with Balls at any page, anywhere. Just say it, type it in. However you look at your podcast, we're on there. Just go to Apple iTunes, type in Sports with Balls. Every one of our shows is on there.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in each and every week.
Yeah.
Jeff, Michael, Lauren, Leal, we're with you. We love to be with you on Mondays and Thursdays live.
All right,
so check us out there.
All right, let's get into the night.
Let's do it. All right, Monday Night Football. As I said, I think the matchup tonight is one of the best this season because we're talking about the Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals. Rams are 8-4. Cardinals are 10-2. Like we said, they're sitting right at the top of that NFC playoff picture.
Woo.
So let's see it. The Rams snapped their 3-game losing streak, which is weird to say, against the Jaguars last week. Not that surprising it was to the Jags, but big news for the Rams is that cornerback Jalen Ramsey will be out, which, watch out. They better have some coverage because he is a huge part of that team.
Jalen
Could
Ramsey,
be arguably one of the best cornerbacks in the league. They also have tight end Tyler Higbee out as well due to COVID protocols. What is your take on tonight's game?
So that news broke about an hour before we came on, and I immediately went to my sports book and put money on Arizona. I mean, immediately. And guess what? The game was at 2.5 prior to that, and it moved to 3.5. I mean, like that. And it takes a lot of money and stuff to move a bet that much. The Rams could not afford to lose anybody after losing. They've already lost Darrell Henderson, their running back. Now they lose their top cornerback, and they lose their number 1 tight end. Ouch. The Rams are a really good football team. And I was scared of this game in general in the first place because I didn't know why Vegas only had it at -2.5. There's something they know that we don't. I was like, I'm not going to touch that game. Then you pull out their top cornerback and DeAndre Hopkins being healthy on Arizona side and Kyler Murray running around last week. If the Rams were at home, I wouldn't touch this game.
Look, these are both 2-star-studded teams, and that's why you're scared to touch it. Like I said, the whole factor is this cornerback and Jalen Ramsey. And if the Rams can play like we know that the Rams can play, not the 3 games that they lost and then finally getting the win last week, but the Rams that we saw before Odell Beckham Jr. came to the squad. So let's see if, they can pull it out without that secondary in the backfield without Ramsey. But the over-under is 51. So
I took the over. And again, because Ramsey's out, I see Kyler Murray and them, having a field day on that defense because the Rams are not at home, and the Cardinals at home are unbelievable. I believe they're unbeaten at home. They're a fantastic football team, and now they're hitting on all cylinders. Their defense at the beginning of the season before J.J. Watt went down was really good. Arizona had a fantastic defense, and the Rams obviously brought in a couple people, and their defense was really good too. I think this game is going to be competitive. I do too. I think it's going to be a high-flying competitive game. I really do. And then, Kevin Anthony says Rams pull the upset. I actually, there's a reason Vegas has it. It's now back up to or went down to -3 because I think a lot of people did start going in the Rams' way. I don't know why Vegas has it so low. Because on paper, if you lose Jalen Ramsey, Tyler Higbee, and Darrell Henderson, you're getting killed. And let's not take anything away from the Rams losing Robert Woods earlier this year. Massive blow. Just the you don't understand how bad that hurt them. And everybody thought OBJ signing was going to come in and take that place. No, Robert Woods is an incredible wide receiver, and they haven't been the same since he's gone. But there's a reason Vegas has this at the Cardinals only -3, and I don't know why, man. I
got faith in Cooper Kupp. Rams are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 road games against the Cardinals. Cardinals are 8-2 in their last 10 games. So we'll see what happens here, but I think it's going to be either high flying or a lot of stops by the defensive front because they're watching tapes on one of the best teams in football right now.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to – so you run the ball to keep it out of somebody's hands. usually,
management.
so
too.
yeah, so usually, the Rams would run the ball, but they don't have Darrell Henderson because you want to keep the ball out of Kyler Murray's hands as much as possible. He had 2 passing and 2 rushing touchdowns last week. So you want to keep the ball out of his hands. The problem is you don't have Darrell Henderson. You have Sony Michel going tonight, who's viable. He is, but he's not as good as Darrell Henderson. And so I think they're going to have to drop back and pass because they're going to have to keep up with Arizona, and Arizona doesn't have Edwards back, so they're going James Conner or Edmonds. They don't have Chase Edmonds back, so Conner will be back there, who's been great, but he's also a pass catching back. So I think Arizona's going to throw the ball as well. That's why I like the over. And I like Arizona -3. I parlayed it. I took Arizona -3 or 3.5, and I took the over. So I mean that's me. That's me.
All right, you got
and I've been
Arizona.
good lately, so I'm just saying.
He has, except for last week when I chose the Vikings, guys.
Yes,
and
you
y'all
did.
didn't.
Yep.
And
I
look
know.
what happened.
Yep, you
They
did.
almost
I
had
know.
that game. There was a comeback. There was a big comeback by the Steelers, but they won 36-28.
I went
All
to
right.
bed. I swear to you, I was so upset that I was like, man, I was like, because I had a parlay bet, and that was the last. I know.
I was wondering because I remember you did one on the show on Thursday,
Yeah.
and you mentioned, and I was wondering how those teams did because I couldn't remember what teams you
Yeah,
chose.
well,
You
I
did
took the
choose
Steelers.
Washington.
And you picked the Texans, and I told you.
No, I
That was
picked the
bad.
Texans plus. I took the Texans plus the 11
Plus,
points.
okay,
Yeah, I took them plus the 11. But, the Steelers, I was pissed because in the third quarter, they had only scored 7 points. That game was a blowout. And then I wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what? I was like, oh, man. So I had to rewatch the highlights and everything. But, Big Ben, tried to make a comeback. And the Steelers, they're not a playoff ready team. Ben Roethlisberger's last year. And now there's rumors, speaking of Pittsburgh, that Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are both on their clock and in New York. So it'll be a really interesting offseason in the NFL. So even though football is going to be over here in January, early February, just the offseason is going to be a lot of fun. So stay with us.
Yeah, stay with us. We still got 4 regular season games, and we got to kick off tonight with week 15. Let's go.
Yeah.
Final.
Ending week 14 rather.
Final go around. Who you got?
Give me the Cardinals.
Cardinals -3
Yeah.
or straight up?
Straight up. Give me straight up Cardinals win, but under the 50, under 51. I don't.
You're taking the under. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, man.
Let's see here. And you already got the Cardinals.
I'm taking Cardinals -3 and the over.
Okay, I'm taking
Don't
the
you do it.
Cardinals. I want to take the Rams. I'm a Stafford fan. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like any team could win tonight, guys. I really do feel like Los Angeles can pull it out. I do. I just have a little more faith in the reasons that we listed in who's healthy and playing on the field tonight and why the Cardinals are going to be there. DeAndre Hopkins, you can't fail me.
Yeah, Chewy says Cardinals laying the 3. Thank you, Joshua, Leo, Kevin, Chewy, all you guys paying attention out there, watching myself and the lovely Lauren Leal, 2014 NFL Cheerleader of the Year. 12, sorry. I keep trying to age you better.
That was close.
I know.
My bad. But look, man, thanks again. We will be back next Monday here but we will be at another place. Stay tuned. Follow us on all of our social media sites. We're on every one of them. Give us a shout, man. Any last words, Lauren?
Let's go Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. For Sports with Balls, I'm Jeff Michael. This is Lauren Leal. We're out of here.
Good night.